Your parents, George Soros,
OCT
Moms
women,
Demand
we're back
Action, they are
out
all
here at
lying to
Baldwin
you.
College
They're
in
going
Dallas
to make you less safe.
at our counter
They're going to try to make you live in
to
a
the
socialist country
MFOLs.
where you're going to have to wait in a 2-hour line for a loaf of bread. Is that what you want? Is that your idea of liberty?
There's
Is that your idea of marching for your lives? Because that is exactly what you're doing. Instead of marching for your lives, you'll, with your policies, you'll be waiting in a 2-hour line for a loaf of bread.
Again, OCT women, we're out here at Baldwin
There is
College.
not one gun control law that has ever saved
The
a life.
MFOL.
That is a fact. Because the only people you have to fear... Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah.
Woo!
Come on
Oh,
here.
someone wants to talk to us about lies.
Come on. Come over here.
You want to know what's a lie? It is a lie that any gun control has ever saved a single life.
Oh, they lie.
got the
What do they
sign
lie
out there.
about? What do they lie about? You just gonna sell how hit him is, huh?
About what the NRA lies about.
Give us what they lied about. You don't even know because you're a mute.
You don't know what you're talking about. You probably don't even know what a semi-automatic rifle is. You're out there protesting.
Got a Kool-Aid drinker across the fence over there. Bunch of them, but this one, she's got her sign. I don't know if
Please
y'all
let
can
us
see
know
it.
what has the NRA lied about.
It says NRA lies, kids die. You know what?
Let us know,
Kids-
please.
These kids in these schools where these shootings have happened
Hey, tell us what has the
lost
NRA
their
lied
innocent
about.
lives
Let us
due
know.
to it being a gun-free
We want to be
zone.
on your
Nobody
side.
in the schools to protect them, to defend them.
Let us
the
know.
teachers, the staff in the schools are the first
I
line
want
of
you to go
defense.
across the street and
The
tell
first,
me
not the
how many
second, the
children
first.
have been
Seconds
killed
count.
by any member
Cops
of
are
the
minutes
NRA.
away.
Name one member of the National Rifle Association that has ever committed a mass shooting. The reason you're walking away is because there
Walk
are no
away.
such members, ma'am.
Keep on
You have to be at
walking.
home with your husband and your kids instead of out here in the Texas
Go away.
trying to troll people who are
She's
standing
walking
up
away.
for their rights. Yes, go walk away because you have no argument. You
Hit the
have no
road,
debate.
Jack.
There is nothing rational that you have to say. So go walk in there, do your Democrat voter drive. Have fun.
You know the NRA was against KKK?
She's putting
You know
her
the
sign.
NRA
She's
was for the
putting.
black people
She's putting
using
her sign
guns?
up.
Did you know
She
that?
put her sign in the trunk of her car.
Yes, that's a good place for your sign, ma'am, right in the trunk of the car. There's no porta potties out here. We might need some toilet paper later, so you think you could bring it across the street?
I don't know if I'd want to use it. Woo! She went away. She put her sign in her trunk. Poor thing. I know. I want to be right up in front of the building up there. They did this the chicken crap way of doing it right there where we can't get across there.
Well, that's why they took this.
Woohoo!
That's why they picked this location. Because, you know, it's private property, so we can't get on it.
Especially with it being their first stop. You know, especially with it being their first stop here in Texas. They talk a bunch of talk, but to actually sit down and have conversation, they won't do.
Hey, did y'all know that gay cakes matter at Question Found? Pastry sucks. Did y'all know that gay cakes matter?
Woo, again, there was OCT women, and we're out here live at the Baldwin College in Dallas, countering the MFOLs who are having their little Kool-Aid drinking party up there. Dang sure don't want none of that Kool-Aid.
I don't think they're having it today.
Earlier, they had their kids across the street right there, and they was coming up and taking pictures of us and what have you, you know. But yet, what we stand for and believe in is just so scary.
You had to hold your little event on a private campus because you were afraid of being confronted by the truth from the people who are standing out here in the heat. How does that make you feel that your argument is so poor that you are afraid of the truth, and that's why you held it here? Why couldn't we have gone to a public place? Why couldn't we have had a dialogue? Well, instead you're doing your Democrat voter registration drive on a private campus because you are afraid.
Who said these famous words? Oh God. What's that? Fear? Anything to fear is the only thing we have. FDR. You're brave part.
I bet they feel safe up there with their armed guards.
I bet the Democrats feel safe if these types of colleges trying to brainwash people to think for them, not for themselves. But how do you think?
The biggest tragedy that we know about here today is not any shooting, it is how poorly the Parkland students and this new generation of kids has been educated and instead brainwashed into believing in communism.
They indoctrinate them.
You are turning our schools into brainwashing centers, and look what it leads to. It leads to people marching about something they have no idea about on a private campus. They don't want to talk about it. They just want to have their little event and ignore every rational argument that they know will counter everything they have to say. That is called socialist indoctrination.
No red for head.
And back around this way a little bit. And you look, there's their meetup place up there at the top, the little hill thing, and their bus. Canopy up there is probably where they're trying to register as many Democrats as they can with their false garb, false facts, and their closed eyes to the reality, actual
Guns
reality.
don't kill people. People kill people. Yes. Oh wait, don't forget, in about 10 years when you get your way, we're going to throw our knives away.
I would like to know how many people
You
in
gotta check out
Paul
this
Quinn
sign
College
there.
right now have ever fired a gun before. I doubt any of you know
Thanks for
how
coming
a
out.
gun works. You are protesting something you do not understand. That is ignorant.
OCT woman, we're out here at Paul Quinn College, the first stop on their so-called Texas tour,
Will make you less
Dallas,
safe,
Texas,
not more safe.
where they chose to have their little congregating on a private college where they can't be met with debate or conversation or anything. They're all sitting up there drinking that Kool-Aid up.
And what are you going to do when you're robbed by a gun? Oh, that's right. You just wish you had a gun.
Yeah, kind of been screaming off and on a little bit.
Yeah.
Now you actually, now we've got a food truck going in there. You all came to Texas, you're not even getting a Whataburger. Y'all need to point your cars north right now, and then west and head back to California where you belong.
Kills people, and he tried to ask her who they kill, and she just kept repeating herself, and then she went away.
That's all they know is what the Kool-Aid tells them to drink.
Yeah, she had that anti-NRA sign, and I said, I don't like the NRA. They're not pro-gun enough. And she laughed, so At least that's something.
Woo! Out here, big Dallas, Texas. Out front here, DePaul Quinn College.
We heard about what your sheriff's department did when all this went down. Was he a Parkland student too? Is he one of your alumni? From what I've seen, that wouldn't surprise me.
Isn't he in deep shit right now? Oh, yeah.
What they did was he was covering up crimes his kid did, so his kid wouldn't get kicked out of school. That's why he got fired.
Broward County, more like Coward County.
Oh, you gotta have that. I don't know why it's here. Well, we gotta head out, but it's good meeting you.
I see some smiley faces down there.
Yeah.
CJ.
Yeah, what about the FBI? I hate the FBI. Hey,
That's if the FBI was protecting people instead of investigating fake Russia crap.
Hey.
Some things would be prevented.
what about the FBI visiting Nicholas Cruz for 5 different times and still let him go? Don't abolish ICE, abolish the FBI. Hell yeah.
The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives should be a convenience store, not a government agency.
James, call me the phony! James,
Got it.
call me the phony!
Some coming down the hill down there.
Hey, Robert
I would really
Mueller,
hope that
how's
that's some of them
investigation
coming
go?
down to
With zero evidence.
maybe engage some conversation. I doubt it though. They're gonna stay up there where they're safe,
I'm glad to see some of you are walking out of that
where they've
event.
scheduled this at
Perhaps
on a
you
private
realize
college
now that they are lying to you.
that is banned to carry a firearm. So
And nothing they
we're over
say
here
will
on
keep you safe.
the sidewalk down here.
But something tells me none of you are going to listen. So please drive north.
All the way.
Where's that Red River?
Go past the Red River, and then
Oklahoma City, take
I don't care where you
I-40
go
west.
from there, but I think they might like what you have to say more in California.
And don't stop until you hit the ocean waters.
Hey guys, how do y'all feel about the FBI?
Oh, we got
Do
some.
you
Are they
love
gonna
them?
come over? Are they gonna come
Don't
over?
you love them? Robert Mueller for president, 2020, right? Don't you want that?
2 scoops, 2 terms, 2 genders.
Okay, y'all. This might get a little fun. Are they gonna come over?
Come on, guys, we love to hear what you have to say.
Yes,
Don't
next
cower
we have
down.
any kind of argument.
Do you have any type of valid argument?
We'll have some conversation with you.
It's a great looking wall. I think we need more walls in this country. I think they need to be about 10
Don't y'all
feet
love
higher.
the FBI? Yay, FBI! Yay, Robert Mueller!
Parkland, didn't they?
Protect your children in the gun-free zones
You know,
and arm the
if FBI
teachers.
did their job, you would be protesting right now.
If you really loved your kids, you'd want them to be able to be defended
David
while
Hawes would
they're
never
at
have
school.
popularity if FBI did their job.
Narcissistic, opportunistic Generation Z kids who are being exploited because they are ignorant.
Come on, guys, let's hear it.
Come talk to us.
Tell us more how you love the FBI.
Come talk to us. We don't bite.
Yeah, come talk to us. You actually have an argument. Does anyone over there actually know how a gun works? Has anyone over there ever fired a gun at a shooting range or on a hunt before?
I don't think they hunt. I think they're a bunch of vegans. Oh no, Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon, guys, cameraman.
We're open to conversation.
You want to know how ridiculous the argument in favor of gun control is? It is just about as ridiculous as the argument that the earth is flat.
Come talk to us.
Excuse me, ma'am. Do you have any more vape juice? I would love to have a conversation.
Oh my God, cotton candy.
Some of the moms that demand action over there to come bring us some sandwiches.
I agree with this guy.
You're
The
all
earth
out of
is flat.
sandwiches on this
Yes.
side of the street.
Did you know that the moon and the sun are the same exact size?
If they bring
You're not
something
at
to
home
drink,
fixing
don't take it.
sandwiches for your husband or
We don't
your
need the
kids.
Kool-Aid.
You at least bring some sandwiches over here. Again, we are
OCT
excited
women,
to give
we're out here at the
sandwiches
Paul
on
Quinn
this side of
College
the street.
in Big Dallas, Texas. Out here on the sidewalk of the roadway because they chose to have their little congregation up there at a private campus, private college that doesn't allow the carry of firearms, so we can't get across there. We've got to stay right here on the sidewalk. Come talk to us.
Anyone here dip?
We're open to dialogue.
Ma'am, I don't know if you're interested, but I'm passing them out.
I've kind of got my hands full right now. Thank you.
Hey, how do you feel about the FBI? You know, if the FBI did their job, you wouldn't be protesting right now. Sad true. And your little commie buddy, David Hogg's in there spewing rhetoric agenda.
Pictures. Please make sure you get my good side, which would be the side that I carry my holster on. My best side is the side with the holster.
Who are you trying to protect and take our rights away? Who are you trying to protect?
If you really wanted to protect your kids, you'd give
I
them the
love how you
opportunity
think that you can take our
to be
rights
defended
away.
rather than cower down behind a desk or in a closet.
Take our rights away.
You came to the wrong place, baby.
Come talk to us.
Come talk to us. We're not going to hurt you. You see, unlike some people, we're not here to violate anybody's rights today.
That doesn't work.
Little
Didn't
do
say the same about you on that side of the street.
Hey, did you get David Hogg's autograph? I would love one.
Yeah, send David Hogg over here.
Oh, you know, oh my God, that would be awesome.
Love to talk to him.
Oh, wait.
He can bring his armed bodyguards with him.
Yeah. Hey, what do you think, David Hogg, when he comes over here, what are you going to have armed security guards protecting him?
you know we will. You know we will.
What's that about?
And let's have a little talk about
What
this.
is that about?
Dallas, Texas. We're out here at the Paul Quinn College countering the
Hey,
March for Our
tell
Lives
David Hogg to come
while
over
they
here
conquer
without
and
any
stay
security
behind
guards.
over there in their little in their safe space on that private campus, which we can't go on.
Have armed guards in every school
Imagine
in
that.
America.
Their first
There are
stop
lots of
in
veterans
Texas
who are
when they
honorably
choose a
discharged
private
from our
campus
armed
that don't
forces
allow the carry.
Who need good jobs. We can put them to work to help make America great again and to protect our children.
Y'all keep in mind. They're going to be in Houston tomorrow.
I'm going.
They're going to be in San Antonio Monday, El Paso Tuesday. If you can get there, get there. Here comes a bus. Dang it. I can get across the street in just a minute. Come up this way.
Good side?
Yeah,
Right here. Let me see. Yeah, we can make some.
Let's get across here. Whoops.
Well, I don't think he's got his gun on him. Does he?
No.
Yeah,
I
because
about forgot.
that's the only
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
He wants you to get in
I
trouble.
know better.
He almost tricked
I
me.
was just wanting to talk.
I know. Hey. Well, I was talking to him, and they were saying.
Y'all didn't see that.
They were saying, yeah, you can come over here and talk. And I was like, I can't do that yet. But they're going to come over in a minute. So,
We'll see if they'll come over and talk to us. Because we can't cross. Y'all look right there.
Here's our other live stream going right now.
We're in San Antonio. Go to the Open Carry Texas page and look up the events. It's posted there. All the events are posted. Also keep a check on the Open Carry Texas women's page because I'm putting them out there. Trying to get them on there as regular as I can. If y'all can get to one, get to one. If you can get to Houston, go to Houston. If you can get to San Antonio, go to San Antonio. Same for El Paso. El Paso is going to need the bodies up there.
There's OCT women streaming right here.
Across the street there. Maybe they'll come over and talk.
Yeah, they said they're going to come over and talk with us in a little bit. They're waiting for somebody or something or something.
Hog, maybe?
Oh, I don't know. I'd love to talk to it. I doubt he'd talk with me, though.
he's not coming anywhere near
No.
anything. And
I'd love to have a
OCT
conversation
women.
with him.
We're out here at Paul Quinn College, Dallas, Texas, with our counter to the March for Our Lives. As they stand on the other side of the fence in their safe zone right there, being it's a private college. And this right here, we can't step. We can't go cross right there. We're on the sidewalk. We can't cross the sidewalk. Being they chose to hold this at a private college on a campus that bans the carry, so they can be in a safe zone. Tex, I'm sure they know they're in a duck zone. They don't care. That's the mentality of them. They don't care. Their eyes aren't open to the reality of the world in which we live. Oh, looky here. Looky here. I gotta be careful so I don't step across that line.
David, how's it going, man?
Looky there, y'all.
David.
He rode that bicycle hard to get here. Oh, be nice. Hey, come on.
Hey, no. Hey, not yet. No. Hey, wait. Just wait 1 second. Give me 5 minutes. No.
OCT women, we're live out here at Paul Quinn College, Dallas, Texas. And look who's coming up to talk. Bicycle boy himself. We'll see if he comes up here. Hey, y'all, be sure and don't, if you're armed, don't step across the grass.
Got it.
OCT women, we're out here at Paul Quinn College, Dallas, Texas. Mr. Hogg jumped over the fence there from his safe zone. He's still in a safe zone, but here we go, guys. Y'all have any questions you'd like to be asked if he comes up here to speak? Because the majority of us can't step across his line right here. Y'all see, I hope I'm getting it right there, but we can't step across because we're armed. And this is a private college that bans the carry of firearms. So we have got to mind our P's and Q's and stay right along this line. CJ, y'all getting this?
As far as criminal record, there's a whole lot of this. You can be have a criminal record and not buy weed, have weed in your possession.
Cut the tongue off. You're good.
Y'all be sure and don't step over your arm. I about did. There's my DPD contact guy. Here we go.
How you guys doing? If you guys want to register to vote, you can do it with this
We're
shirt.
registered Republican.
Good.
Awesome. All right. So, anyways,
So, basically, as I'm sure you guys know, the shooter was reported 38 times to the FBI. Obviously, failure. My dad's is a retired agent, so obviously it's a problem. But,
so your dad is a retired FBI agent.
Yes.
Okay.
yes. But,
There's a lot of rumors and people that
And
say
I was
even even Snopes said that's not true.
well, my dad is.
Also, we believe you.
He's got some interesting stories.
Yeah, but I
feel like people think one person works for that.
like my dad's a registered.
News guy, why don't you get up in my way?
Go wrong.
Oh, you're fine.
I'm gonna go wrong.
My family is mostly law enforcement and civil servants, like my mom's dad.
Y'all remember, if you're armed, do not step across the
Anyways,
grass.
so the shooter at our school was reported 38 times. Had his guns taken away. Because we were able to push for that legislation, domestic abusers and people that are reported to the FBI 38 times.
Or did you say it's not going to happen?
If they
Did you say it's not going to
hey, this person could be squatting mass shooting, they can't have their guns taken away through due process.
Are you
That can be
familiar with
challenged
the
in
guy
court
by the
because
name of
obviously there are going to be special cases.
Not
There's
interested.
going to be special cases where there's people that where they go overboard. There's going to be cases where they go under. No system is perfect, and that's why it can be challenged in court. But that's what we push for in Florida, and that's what I hope to have at the federal level, so that if a lot of the times people tend to show warning signs, and
Which he did. More than 20.
exactly. So you guys know that. In Florida, though,
You good?
Move the flag so that,
Yeah, just watch out.
in Florida, though, the amount is going to take away protection, and that's what we push for, and I hope to get that at the federal level.
Dude, get out from here.
Our most
Not you.
point, that we're trying that we have to work with the assault weapons ban.
Right.
And that's what we're doing.
You know that's not true. Assault weapons is not. There's no existence of assault weapons. Because you can assault with any weapon, right?
But I mean, it's a defined term in the legislation. So like, we always get that a lot where it's like, oh, it's not defined. It's like, yeah, but like when you write a bill,
And obviously there are certain guns that are more powerful than 50 pounds, and that's why we have to work with the devil to make sure that
I need to get a
understand that we're not politics. I took a hospital use today kid. So my experience with people obviously having had a like a lot of us, we aren't all politics, but I think we all have common sense in the way that I think that if you buy a gun, that you should have to a background check, regardless of where you get it from, because if it's a private sale event, like at a gun show, I think that you should be able to get a background check. Federally licensed retail, you have to get a background check, but many times.
Sorry.
In Florida, they have a system where you basically have to, it's a transfer voucher.
What I saw in Florida,
Well, actually, it wasn't the case for specific. It was
now they increased the age for assault weapons or license. But that makes sense though. But I'm really glad that you can say, has thought about this before, like, oh my God, you're so anti-gun, you're so this, you're so that. But my point of view is okay, I went to NRA protest or meeting in Dallas, right? And I went to the counter protest. And the majority of the they're for common sense gun rights. But at that same time, there's already enough, to me anyways, there's already enough common sense on how you buy. Like, there's so many background checks.
Specifically, when it comes to like in Chicago, but when you don't have legislation,
OCT women, and we're streaming live up here outside of Paul Quinn College here in Dallas. We got David Hogg that's come across up here. We need to speak it a little louder so we can hear him a little bit better.
but the issue is.
Here, you come up here. Yeah, I'm not filming anymore. You come up.
But right now, understand that in Chicago, if I was to bring fireworks or like some people have done with AR-15s and handguns and things like that, perpetuate violence, the penalty in jail at a federal level is 1 year in jail. You know,
Oh, it's in Chicago.
No, at a federal level for the interstate trafficking of those fireworks.
But you said to Indiana to Chicago.
Yeah.
You take those over there.
Yeah.
Well, because fireworks and AR-15s are two completely different.
Exactly, but AR-15s, there are no charges.
No charges for AR-15s.
Specifically when it comes to interstate
I'll have to
trafficking.
look this up.
Because I was shocked by that too. Because it
I'm an
should
attorney. He's actually correct. He's actually right. The issue is, I think the issue is, I live in Texas, so I want to move to Oklahoma. I've got a lot of different guns. Should I be able to move into Oklahoma, or if I'm going to Oklahoma, like say for a hunt? I'm a big hunter. All right. I'm guessing you're not condoning taking guns away from hunters.
No.
A lot of hunters stand with us too. A lot of different hunters.
But should I not be able to cross state lines to go on a hunting trip?
No,
I mean,
no.
how would that be reconciled?
Well,
I understand what you're saying with an AR-15, but I was in Florida back in March to go on a trip to Belgium, and I had a shotgun with me.
So that's understandable. And I agree with being able to bring guns across state lines. But I think in the same way that you're able to do that, I think that you should have, that it should be traced. Like you shouldn't, for example, if I'm a terrorist and I wanted to bring guns across state lines or something like
Trace
that.
how? Like, you have sensors.
No, like for example, like if I buy my dad's a biochemist, right? Like he has his own company as a biochemist, makes products specifically for chronic pain, right? And when he orders a certain amount of supplement, he has to justify the reason for ordering that amount of supplement to that location, and he has to write like a little note about, okay, this is going to this lab on this day for this reason. If you're living in this state and you follow all the laws required to obtain your guns in that state, and you're a legal, law-abiding gun owner, right? And you want to go to X state to go hunting, I don't see any reason why you can't write a little note saying, I'm taking these weapons to this state for this reason.
So kind of like what we have for the National Firearms Act. The National Firearms Act was passed in 1934. It regulates machine guns, short-barreled rifles, short-barreled shotguns, and silencers. I legally own some of those weapons.
Yes,
But
if you notice,
and with those weapons, if I wanted to take them across state lines, I have to fill out a little form asking Mother May I from the Department of Justice. So that's what you want.
In America right now, a lot of mass shootings aren't the majority of gun violence. I'm not going to be the first to admit that. The majority of gun deaths in this country, 2/3 of which are suicides. You know, but right now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe AK-47s are under that act, right?
No.
A fully automatic AK-47 would be under that act, but like a semi-automatic version of the same weapon.
Fully automatic.
Yeah.
So, do we see mass shootings being committed with fully automatic AK-47s?
Well, no, because you haven't been able to legally buy them at all since 1986. They cost about $25,000.
But anyway,
Anyway.
When you have easy access to a weapon with as much power as like the AR-15 and things like that, obviously there's a lot of responsibility that can go along with that.
Okay, so let me ask you this: what is more powerful, AR-15 or?
How many aborted babies that might have at the same time? 501,000. Jeremiah 1 says, before I knew thee,
the AR-15, why
before
it's
you
used in
formed
so
in the
many
womb, I knew thee.
and they said it's because it's easy to use.
So it's this. Any guns is used. Just so you know.
No, I understand that, but I'm trying to say
285,000 deaths by obesity. 115,000 deaths by medical
Have you ever
error.
fired one before?
I haven't fired
2016, only 11,000 deaths by gun violence.
I'd be delighted to take you to the range tomorrow, or even after your event today.
501,000 abortions.
Exactly what it does. So at least you can say when you're up here talking about what you believe in, I fired this thing before.
No, I promise you I've fired guns before.
I'm talking about an AR-15 specifically.
I've got one. You can shoot mine.
So this is how I look at this, because I'm very politically driven. As you can tell. A lot of people right now demonize anything that he says. That's why I want to ask if he was anti-gun. So there's a lot of people on the right that think that, but there's also a lot of people on the left that us as gun owners that would say, yeah, we're trying to demonize you. We're trying to get anti-gun. We're just like the popularity of that on both sides of that. But there's both sides of the spectrum, right? That's why I wanted to come out here and see what everybody's agenda was. To me, I look at this as a democratic rally. That's what I look at this. And I don't think that should be the idea. It shouldn't be politicized whatsoever. If you want to come out and save lives, you literally have no agenda behind it. You should have saving lives, saving kids. Don't come out and promote democratic politicians for that sake. That's all.
Yeah, that's why we don't do that. We don't endorse any politicians.
Okay.
We aren't driven by any politicians. In fact, I think Democrats are Republicans, good politicians, whatever. The reason they haven't been able to is because they can't have this, quite frankly, they can't have this fucking conversation. You know, they can't work together as Americans on what they can agree on because they're so busy hating each other for what they disagree on. And this is where America is. It's a little crap. It's understanding that we have our differences. It's understanding that we have a lot more a lot of times that we can because nobody wants to see kids die. And when he debates it, and starts to stuff,
David, you said no one wants to see kids die, but you see all these people getting out live. Let's use them out here, but other places with signs that say that the NRA kills kids. I don't think, I don't know if one of these...
Because I talk about this a lot. Recently I watched an interview on Fox News between one of the leaders of the NRA in Illinois and some of the news anchors, and they were asked about a few of their policy plans, including safe storage or trigger locks or stuff like that required, or red flag laws, right?
Okay.
Are you familiar with both of these?
Yeah, I'm very familiar.
So they were asked, do you think this would work to save lives? And the person from the NRA said, yes, I think it would work. And
Red
everyone
flags
was really
ain't gonna
surprised
save no
that they
lives.
said that. What are you
Red
saying?
flag law is not going to save any lives.
Red flag laws are proven to save lives.
No, they're not.
Why?
they put the same lives in our school.
If red flag laws were in Florida, then the shooter is someone Douglas, and it's been enacted
If the
over
cops
50
had
times.
followed up on the reports like they should
Taking
have,
his guns away, though.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
They could have just detained
Ma'am, I
him.
think what he's saying is that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that if there was a way that through due process, if somebody who was obviously out of their mind could have their guns taken away, maybe even temporarily, to figure out what was going on, you know, as long as there's due process, people have a right to an attorney and a right for a hearing. I might not really agree with it, but I think that'd probably be constitutional. But there has to be due process, and
Exactly. You
I
can't
am
circumvent
glad
due
that at
process.
least here you say that you believe there has to be due process for this type of thing, because you know that was my.
There will be instances where law enforcement can overstep and understep, as always, and that's where due process comes in.
Right.
You know, and that's why we're out here. You know, my dad's gun, and a lot of my family is and we understand the right to bear arms, and in the same way say that we all have the right to bear arms. We all have the right to bear arms.
So, okay, for the record, what is your policy? Obviously, you're not policymakers, but what would you do, like you said, you want more background checks, right?
We want universal background checks. We want protection orders implemented. We want ATM records to be digitalized to help law enforcement solve these crimes. Do you know the percentage of homicides in Chicago that are unsolved?
It's pretty hot. It's pretty. I would say it's pretty hot.
It's 70% that go unsolved.
They have the most police per capita. A lot of what the issue is just the lack of funding. The law enforcement programs, not the environment. They actually have the ATF right now is barred by law from putting their records on the computers. They have a paper trail that so when a gun is used in a crime and they flag it and they're trying to figure out where this gun came from, they're not able to.
I'm fine with enforcing existing laws and making it easier to enforce existing laws. I don't think we're disagreeing on that.
But I think a lot of the problem is that these NRA-backed politicians obstruct this, and they poke holes in the system. They try to prove that they do this.
How? How?
They funnel millions of dollars into these candidates that are not standing up for what we believe.
Are they brainwashing people to do these things?
No,
they're doing worse than brainwashing them to buy.
How? Well, okay. Well,
so if I was to get, for example, if I was the president of the United States, like Donald Trump, and I got $30 million from the NRA, don't you think that might have a little sway?
$0 from the NRA.
$30 million from the RNC.
There's actually a Department of Justice
To
investigation
the RNC,
right now,
but not him as
because
a
they think that
politician.
Russians helped
runs
him.
I don't
agree with that. Because you can have a name, just say you're Republican, and still be in the club. But just because a donor donates to the club, the RNC doesn't the politician can have different outlooks from a lobbyist.
Yeah, but if you're a politician that's getting PAC and Super PAC money to help fund your campaign and campaign against people, that might have a little bit of a sway.
Wait.
Hold on a minute.
He funded himself.
He actually got $30 million from the NRA.
Oh, he did.
Look it up.
He did. Look it up. Honestly.
Hold on a minute.
Oh my God.
Hold on a minute. So if you don't think that so would it be accurate for me to say you're against the super PACs giving money to politicians?
Yes.
Would that include yours?
We don't have one.
All right, let's say you did have a super PAC.
We don't have one for that reason, because we don't believe in Citizens United. We don't believe in political contributions, because we feel like that corrupts the system.
Y'all hearing this?
I agree with that. I agree with that.
That's why we don't endorse people, because we realize that people on both sides of the aisle are the results of these issues.
Because most politicians, no matter if it's the left or the right, they're robots.
Exactly.
They're just like,
and they want to see who puts in a quarter, and they'll take out their action.
Like, no. Go from the heart, like how this
That's
is.
what we're doing.
We're doing this from the heart. You're doing this from the heart. But guess what? Two hearts mixed together.
We don't begrudge you for standing up what you believe in.
Yeah.
We disagree on some things, but I mean.
But what do you disagree with, so we can understand this?
Well, I disagree on.
What have we said that you disagree on?
That you want to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. Okay. I'm a shooting instructor. I teach college students at the University of North Texas how to shoot. I do that part-time. I volunteer my time to do that. I've personally seen college students between the ages of 18 and 23 years old use these weapons in a safe and responsible manner. I'm also licensed by the Texas Department of Public Safety to teach the license to carry course in the state of Texas. I know it's the same for Florida. I went to law school in Florida. But, I can tell you right now,
Do you think that everybody should have that same training to be able to buy an assault weapon, like the AR-15?
Well, I think that people, if they're going to be responsible as gun owners,
but how do you make sure they're responsible?
That's the point. I think look, the criminals outweigh law-abiding citizens. Okay, if you're a criminal with a gun, you're not going to go to these training classes. You're going to go buy it down the road in South Dallas in the trunk in the Ross parking lot.
Yeah.
That's how most guns are even sold today. Because if you have an assault rifle, how do you know if that's not a sawed-off shot?
And that's why we ask for universal background.
But that's the thing. But criminals don't abide by the law. That's the only thing. Hold on.
So criminals don't make the guns, though. So if you create a system in which the guns have to be a proven system to reach the law,
they're already here.
The system's not working.
I get that, but the point is that these criminals already have it. These guns are already made. They're not destroyed. That's the thing. That's why people are starting to think that's more anti-gun. It's because the point is that if you have a criminal, if I was a criminal, if I was a very criminal record, I'm even supposed to have a gun. I'm not even supposed to have a toothpick as a match or a lighter. That's how bad my criminal record is. I still have an AR-15 because I bought it from some homeboy in South Dallas, right? If I have it and I went up there and I start shooting people or whatever else, someone is law-abiding citizen that policy that y'all want, or say, oh crap, well I didn't do my training this month. Oh damn, where's my gun? I don't know what to do. Right?
And I think that people, again, I don't think we're going to agree on AR-15s and stuff like that, and that's fine, that's good, and this is America, and that's the way it should
Obviously,
be.
we're biased.
Well, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. But what I'm saying is, I think you mentioned the training. That's a good point. Would you be more or less inclined with respect to the AR-15 if people were out getting trained on how to use it properly?
Yeah, if people
And properly stored.
If you had to
I don't even have kids, and I keep all my guns in a safe that's
okay, the
bolted to
properly
the floor of my
stored,
house.
that's inside
4.6
someone's home though.
million
Say if like,
homes
I hate
have
saying
unlocked
the
guns
name,
and
he got
kids.
the guns from
And
his
once a
dad,
week,
right?
a kid shoots
No,
themselves or
actually.
their parent.
I agree with you.
There was
They should be
purpose
punished for that, and that's
stored.
actually the law in
Yeah,
Texas. I'm an
Matt.
attorney in this state, and
Did he
that's
get
the
his
law.
gun? Did the shooter at our school get the guns from his dad?
No, he bought it from the store.
Exactly.
Whoa.
There's
This
a
is the first time hearing
No,
about
there's a
this.
lawsuit between
There's the law.
between someone and the guy who sold him the guns. That's how I know someone sold him.
All right.
I haven't heard that. But I'm willing to learn. Like I say, I'm open-minded. You know. Okay.
I think a lot of the problem though too is that
Misinformation, a lot of
it's
it.
not just misinformation. It's that we get caught up in.
Wait. How old was he?
He was 19.
He was 19.
Can you own a firearm when you're that age?
Yes,
Okay.
you can own
Rifles.
You can actually own
I know
both.
this, I'm
You
pro
can't
B.
buy a handgun or handgun ammunition from a federally licensed dealer at 18, but at 21 you can buy a rifle and rifle ammunition from a federally licensed dealer at the age of 18. And that's what I'm in favor of that, because I want my students who are safe and who are responsible to be able to keep doing something that they love and that they enjoy, and who aren't going to hurt anybody. I mean, I don't want to hurt anybody.
Exactly. We understand that. We just don't want anybody else to be hurt too. And what we need, honestly, what we need more of is people like you that teach gun safety. And go out and instruct people on how to actually safely use these firearms. And I assume you teach them how to safely store them too.
Well, yes, it's a mandatory part of the license to carry class, and I actually tell everybody. I said, if you have a kid, not even a trigger lock, put it in a doggone safe that you can get to if you need it in an emergency. I mean, I agree with you there, man.
Exactly.
That saves a lot of
Okay,
lives.
so how do you advocate someone who is a criminal, right? Has a gun and they say like gun violence, has a history of gun violence, but still has a gun. I'm talking about how do you advocate past that barrier and have them know as a criminal that they can't be doing the way they
Well,
do.
there's a lot of a program. Usually David talks about this, so I don't want to step on his toes.
I can talk about it.
Ceasefire.
Go ahead.
So there's these things you got, like, they're very interesting, and they don't call for any form of, they're actually one of our policy points. They don't call for any form of gun legislation or gun control, which I know is like, anyways. What they do is in over 100 communities, they teach people, like in communities of lower socioeconomic status, in places with a lot of violence like Chicago, New York City, or Liberty City, Milwaukee, in different areas.
Strict gun laws.
With strict gun laws, what they do is they go out into these communities and they hire people that are previously like gang members and people that have
gang units.
grown up in these communities mainly. That's the main thing. And they train them on how to defuse situations with firearms. Like if I'm about to if I have a gun right now and I'm about to shoot him, somebody will come and stop that. That costs a couple $1 million a year, which is not very popular for politicians to fund. But actually what it does, in over 100 communities over the past 18 years, this has been reviewed by the CDC, the Department of Justice, and multiple universities. They have reduced the rate of violent crime and firearm crime by 40 to 70%, and in some communities even by 100%. But what's not popular about that is, just like we talked about politicians, that's not politically popular because it's not tough on crime. But it makes sense. It saves billions of taxpayer dollars.
I agree with you on that. Like I said, I'm a defense attorney. I agree with you that this whole narrative, if you will, as to what is and isn't tough on crime is something that I think needs to change too.
Because it's a health crisis, is really what it is.
Oh,
It's a lack of economic mobility in a lot of these areas that are perpetuated by these politicians. You guys know what redlining is?
Elaborate for.
I think I'm pretty sure it's when they pass a budget and they line item out some bills.
Well,
I could be wrong.
To be more specific, it's it was after World War II when they were basically like rebuilding their communities and building them. They discriminated specifically against poor people and people of color and put their communities in areas that were basically economic deserts. And those areas that we see today are places like the south side of Chicago and places with a lot of violence. And you gotta, it's just very frustrating because I've been to a lot of these places and seen this. When, even in these places, if they have big issues with gentrification. Do you guys know what a food desert is? So a lot of the time in poor neighborhoods, like they don't have grocery, like these things to get it somewhere.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
they don't have grocery stores because they all move out of the town.
If you need a shirt and nobody's giving you that shirt, and you go out and look for a job after job, because nobody grows up thinking I want to be a gang member. You know, you were not born thinking that. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
Every human I think is genuine.
Born innocent.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's born innocent. But when they grow up in these communities that perpetuate generational violence again and again because of a lack of economic development, that politicians want to keep these areas suppressed so that they can stay in power.
Wait. So what you're saying is, say if like a very poor area, you think it should be the government's thing to go and rebuild that whole...
No. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Okay.
What I'm saying is they should help. For example, on the south side of Chicago, when people apply for permits, they get discriminated against compared to people on the north side when they apply for permits to reopen a business. Because those people already have businesses and the city feels comfortable with those people getting them. But when you apply for it on the south side, you don't get it. And then they shut down schools and they shut down violence prevention programs. And you know what they do? They say, oh my God, why is violence increasing here? You know what we need to do? We need to build a $95 million police academy that drives division in the community and makes them feel more afraid.
And when they see something working, when they see like one of these violence prevention programs actually like working to save lives, a lot of times they'll either dock their funding or say like, okay, it's working, like we can take some resources out of this, instead of saying, okay, what happens if we build this out in this community? How can this change this community? Right. And so there's things like Life Camp and Cease Fire are two of the bigger examples of these programs actually employing young people, rehabilitating young people, and they sort of intervene where the police would have escalated something, they de-escalate.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, what you're saying is that guns are only a part of the problem. I don't think guns are a big problem, but you're saying, but would it be accurate to characterize what you're saying is that guns are part of the problem, but it actually goes a whole lot deeper than guns?
It's a very nuanced issue, but I think the easy access in some of these areas to these firearms does escalate the violence, especially in Chicago, where a lot of their guns come from Indiana. It's a 15-minute drive where you can load up on
and then it's
guns.
Economics, because then you can come back and literally sell a gun for twice as much in Chicago as you got it for in Indiana.
So say if you couldn't do that and people were on the borderline checking everybody's car for guns or whatever else, you think that will create less violence in Chicago?
What we're asking for is for gun dealers to try to work with policymakers to make sure that they don't traffic.
I thought they're donating. Oh, say not donating, but working with. Work with them and come up with sit down.
But in Texas, it's against the law to sell someone a handgun outside the state, is it not?
That's federal. It's a federal law. You
so
can't
that's
sell.
what most of the gun crimes.
I think they're talking more about
because they're already committing the crime.
Yeah. But in the ATF is terribly underfunded, and I have family members that work for the ATF, and they tell me like how their resources are constantly cut, and they're not able to enforce these laws that already exist. And that's what everyone always says is like, oh, we just have to enforce these laws. And you have to look at what actually goes into that. It's a lot of funding that this government doesn't want to supply. You know, because they profit from this. They make more money if people feel unsafe and unviable.
What about let's talk about the safety of schools.
So safety of schools is obviously very important, but I think at the end of the day, like, why should we have to militarize our schools if we can help scourge this epidemic?
Why would you want the kids to remain in the schools where they're gun-free zones? They're sitting ducks. They cower behind desks and hide in closets.
Had an armed officer, as I'm sure.
And he did no good.
That's why individual liberty comes in.
Wait, that's why you
stand down. He was ordered to stand down.
In Santa Fe, Texas, he wasn't ordered. There's a very heavy study and investigation being done about that still. Yeah, really.
Some of them say it was just him.
Why don't they just go with the police record?
That's part of the thing that we push for is more funding for police training, but that means increasing taxes.
Right.
What about arming the teachers and the staff and putting them through a rigorous training program?
So if you look at,
let me point out.
Go ahead.
You do know that teachers and school staff are the first line of defense to the kids in the school.
I'm a teacher. I taught.
And you're the first line of defense. What are you going to do? Hide them under a desk and push them in a closet and let them hope and pray that somebody gets there to stop the shooter?
Santa Fe High School in Texas had 2 armed guards. They had a plan on how to stop the shooting from happening. 10 people were still killed, 10 people were shot. Yes, they lowered the casualties by being able to contain it, but that's still 20 people permanently affected and the community permanently affected by this. Arming teachers is putting a Band-Aid on a stab wound, and there's so many more viable solutions. You're nodding your head no, but if you look at every study that tells us
the amount of taxes that you would have to create from that, I mean, think about it.
To raise, okay, so my thing is,
how do you need taxes to allow people who are already licensed to carry?
Well, true,
to carry.
But
you don't
they're
need
not.
to raise taxes
That's
for
not their. That's having 2 jobs, basically as a teacher, then protecting the kids as well.
Yeah,
so you have to have.
I think a teacher who doesn't want to carry a gun should be required to.
Yeah,
no, I don't either.
We're not talking about making them be security guards. We're talking about people who are already licensed to carry. They should be able to be allowed to carry to defend themselves and defend others if they so choose.
Can you
We've had at least 3 times a week. 3 times a week since Stoneman Douglas happened, where a gun was discharged in school and someone was injured. Adding more guns to a situation does not make someone more safe.
But I guess discharge by itself, like, okay, because you can have it on you, right? But you can say if you keep it at your desk.
One of our teachers
there's certain ways to make that plausible.
One of our teachers has a concealed carry permit, and he left it in the
I'm
bathroom,
saying,
and a
like, keep
homeless
it in
man
your
went in there
desk.
and shot it off. Not at our school, but off campus.
I think I think another point that has to be made is there's a difference. There is. I mean, I'm willing to accept there's a difference between being trained to carry openly or concealed carry a pistol for your own protection and being trained how to use that weapon effectively in a situation where chaos is happening and bullets are coming back at you. I think. I mean. I do think there's. I mean, you'd agree with me on that, right?
So
there's a difference between. I'm kind of on your side. There's a difference between training somebody to protect themselves with a firearm just on the street. I walk down the street, someone attacks me, and being trained how to use that same weapon effectively in a situation where there's multiple people running around and there's controlled chaos. I mean, so I would agree that if there was guns in schools, the people who are going to be carrying would have to be trained to deal with that kind of a situation.
No, and we're not against that.
Like, just imagine the scenario where a teacher gets shot and a kid picks up that gun. That kid is going to be identified as the shooter. If there's a teacher, how do you know the shooter isn't going out there and committing the crime? It's going to be a blue-on-blue situation.
Imagine the scenario in your school. The coach that got shot. Imagine had he been allowed to been armed. He wouldn't have had to sacrifice himself standing there.
See, but he wasn't a teacher. He was a security guard.
We can talk about if and who. We can use individual examples.
Okay.
But still, had he been able to be armed, he could have likely diffused that situation right then and there and not lost his life.
We can say if and then the president said he'd run in unarmed and stop the shooter. I mean, all these people have their solutions. But the point is, people are dying every single day, and in the time we've been out here talking to you guys, at least 3 people have been killed in this country from gun violence.
People were killed in car violence too, car accidents.
But she's saying that
people are killed in overdoses.
If my coach was armed, he could have saved lives.
That's
true.
That's speculative. It would make it more likely, but it is speculative. I mean,
legal jargon.
And now the law has been passed that he could have been armed, so that law is in existence, and maybe we'll see one day if it will save lives or not. But there's other laws that we can work on to save more lives.
You know, as a grandma myself, I've got young grandkids, and every one of my grandkids attend a school where they have armed staff. Not just the teachers, but armed staff in general. And I wouldn't rather have my kids go anywhere else but the schools they go to, because there's somebody there when it all breaks loose, and it could break loose at any time, anywhere. Somebody there that's going to step up and defend my grandkids. So my grandkids aren't cowering down behind a desk in a closet, hoping and praying to God that somebody gets there and stops the bad guy before he finds them.
We also were praying that too.
What's the real problem, though?
So,
like, why would someone attack a school in the first place?
Something that leads into these attacks. What about the bullying? Where do y'all stand on?
Bullying has absolutely nothing to do with guns.
Oh, okay.
Hold on now. Whoa. You're stepping on some toes now.
I'll retract that and I'll come back forward. I said this to you earlier. The number one indicator that someone will commit a violent crime is domestic abuse or assault of a partner. You can look this up. It's online. Instead of rolling your eyes and nodding your head every time I talk to you.
Who cares? Don't do that.
I'll take my glasses off
so
you can see
I'm not doing
that with you. No, it's okay. No, I appreciate it, guys.
Who cares? Just go with it.
And so when we're talking about bullying, and we talk about mental health, and we talk about gun violence, it's a Venn diagram, right? The mental health issue is here, gun violence is here. There's a part in the middle where they overlap, but solving one does very little for the other. And so when we talk about bullying, there's a bill that was introduced by my Senator Bill Nelson, where it said to increase social services in schools to have our guidance counselors. At Stoneman Douglas, the guidance counselors are more of schedulers. They don't necessarily know how to diffuse a situation. I think every school should require people who are violence interrupters and people who can actually talk these people down from being these bullies in the first place. But I think that problem is very loosely tied in.
And what I've been working on is a bill to make sure that
Wait, I thought you're not a policymaker.
Well,
let him speak. Just kidding. No, go ahead.
You guys know, you get what I mean.
Well, they're not working, so we have to, man.
Go ahead.
Anyhow, what we're trying to do, an idea that I worked with using the idea of again, it's not policy that I created. It's a modified form that I thought of because of cure violence and those different initiatives that I talked about.
Yeah.
Is hiring veterans in schools to help protect those kids and work as violence interrupters specifically to sit down with it's really 2 to 5% of kids in schools that perpetrate the most violence. If any of you have worked in education, then you would know that.
That's
my
what the
mom's
general population is too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're able to sit down with those 2 to 5% of individuals like the shooter at our school, he was in foster care. That doesn't mean anything, but it could have meant something to him. It could have maybe it made him insecure about something. And if you need, if you're beating kids to get their lunch money or something like that, if you're able to sit down with that kid and say, hey, we're here for you, and we can provide you that economic assistance as long as you stop the violence. But if you don't stop, there will be severe consequences where you either revert to an alternative school or to law enforcement, which is what should have been done at our school. The problem is politicians don't want to fund that. You know why? Because that means increasing taxes. And increasing taxes doesn't get you elected.
Fair enough. That is true.
Right, but just letting people defend themselves, whether they're in a school or out in public or in a restaurant, that's free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you think the volunteered people? How about volunteered security guards? What do you think about that?
If we're only talking
people
about
were properly vetted, of course.
So in Florida, actually,
yeah, of course.
In Florida, we do have a bill for that now, where people who are properly vetted, and I think they have to get 150 hours of training. I think that might be an overestimate even. I think it's 150, 147 hours of training with a firearm. So long as they're not teachers, they're security guards that would only be dealing with that weapon to protect the school. They can be armed.
So you advocating this at these rallies, right?
Well, I'm talking about the bill that's in our state. That's not one of our 10 policy points because we believe
promoted that bill.
Would you support that?
We did.
Why not? You do support that
why
bill.
isn't it on one of your points?
Well, because
if
it's already passed.
For me, if you
it's already passed.
I'm talking about you are the opinion. This is you are this. This is you. I want to hear what he has to say. Okay.
Honestly, it's a very tough conversation to have because putting a firearm in the situation in general can mean someone else dies, and that can be the bad guy and that can be the good guy, or just an innocent bystander. No matter the amount of training, nothing can train you to defeat instinct. You know, any of you that have been in a mass shooting or a shooting scenario, which I'm sure some of you have because of the beliefs that you have, at least to some extent, you can understand that. When the cold rush of fear goes down your spine, not knowing whether or not you're going to fucking die next second, that's when shit gets real. You know, and when you're in that situation, your hand's going to be shaking like hell. You aren't going to know what the fuck to do because those 150 hours of training mean nothing.
Well, it's because you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to your most basic level of training.
Exactly. You know, and no amount of training can train you out of that instinct. And that's my biggest reluctance to specifically putting more guns in schools, which I'm sure you guys can understand. You know?
I mean, I don't necessarily agree with it, but I can see where you're coming from.
Exactly.
I respect your opinion. I respect your opinion. That's fine.
Can I go back to something that y'all mentioned a little bit ago? In respect, when I was talking about allowing people who are licensed to carry in schools, y'all mentioned, what if that individual for some reason gets hurt, they get shot by the attacker, or whatever happens, they drop their gun, they're down, and some kid picks up the gun. Well, what happens if the same thing happens to a law enforcement officer? Exactly. So using that as a reason for people not to be allowed.
Can
I finish?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Using that as a reason for a licensed carrier to not be allowed to carry doesn't work, because then you can have to tell the police officers, oh, you're not allowed to carry in there either. Because what if you're injured and a kid you drop your gun? So instead, hold on.
You want these people to qualify every like 4 times a year, which I know it is for many federal agents and police officers.
I don't want to have to wait for somebody else to protect my life.
So what happens though? What happens when somebody breaks the law? They say you got every law you wanted passed. Say my rifles were banned, my handguns were banned.
That's not what we're talking about.
No, I'm just saying.
What we're talking about.
Well, mine are all pretty much high capacity stuff that y'all don't like. But say this rifle on my back was banned, and somebody illegally possesses one, somebody steals one, somebody has one from before a ban, or whatever the case may be. They're going to break the law anyway. They're going to keep that. And then what if that person then goes to school? What if that person uses that rifle to try to attack people at the school? Because inevitably, banning guns isn't going to stop people from having guns, especially criminals.
And that's why we're not talking about specifically banning handguns.
Yeah, so what happens when that individual breaks the law to try to commit a mass shooting? People are going to have to run and hide. They're going to have to do whatever they can to try to defend themselves. And if they don't have any firearms to defend themselves, what do? They call people who do have firearms. They call the police. And the police show up, and they have firearms, they have the training and all that, and they go in and they do their best to stop the threat if they're good officers, and they don't end up just standing outside because they're, for whatever reason. I'll just stop there. And wouldn't it be better to have somebody at least be able to try to defend themselves, whether or not they succeed? Isn't it better to be allowed to give people the liberty and freedom to at least try to defend themselves if something happens to them?
Do you know who Max Schachter is? Are you familiar with him at all?
Not
Max
really.
Schachter. He lost his son Alex at Stoneman Douglas. He's been working really hard on school safety, and he's been doing a lot of work in Ohio because Ohio has some of the safest ranked schools in the country. And because we like to say that we support the things that we see on paper and in practice save the most lives, right? And so when you're talking about an attempt to the liberty and freedom to protect yourself in these schools, right? To have people who are armed in these schools, the fighting chance, right? There are more effective ways that we can invoke school safety besides arming teachers and besides letting people conceal carry at school.
Oh yeah, that shouldn't be the only thing.
No, okay. But if you look into this school, I'm drawing a blank on what it's actually called, but there's a school in Ohio that has this really interesting security system.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I
really
really.
On this video with the smoke thing.
Yeah, the walking electronic doors. Yes, I'm totally in favor of that.
Those kind of things do infinitely more than it would cost and the hours that we'd have to require these teachers to go through this.
Exactly.
And we're talking about, and so if we're talking about an already trained individual, right? Like someone like yourself in your school, concealed carry or open carry or whatever it's going to be, it's just infinitely safer to implement these other policies besides squabbling over the training and the necessary
and raising the taxes.
So wouldn't that be preferable to, wouldn't you rather have somebody, if they were going to try something like that, wouldn't you rather than walk up and try to pull on the door and, oh, it's electronically locked and the person's not going to let you in? Isn't that more preferable than taking my defensive tools and my liberties away from me?
If we're talking about schools, we're not talking about taking your liberties or freedoms or anything. None of us.
Well, your platform includes what's so-called assault weapons ban.
Well, that's why I asked them from the get-go what their agenda was as far as Democratic policies or whatever. That's what I asked them, and they said they're not anti-gun. They're just for common sense, whatever. But that's why we've been debating the whole time. But they're not. They're literally not trying to take guns away from. That's what I hear, anyways. But you hear a lot of things from inside.
And we hear a lot from your side too.
Yeah.
Like I know not everyone.
This is what creates America. This is what America's about. Coming together. Come on, shake your hand. Can someone take a picture right now? That's what I want. Thank you.
Okay.
Make it great again. Can we get that handshake again?
So what do you think about mental health around?
Our event just ended. That's what we're
thank you guys.
Can I have us four take a picture together?
Of course.
Okay. Do you want to take a picture?
Here, give me your camera. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Give me. I'll take it. All right, cool. Well, I guess we're dirty. I'm kidding. No.
I won't swipe left or right.
All right. bad goons.
Hey, come on, sidewalk.
So there's
I got
some light on.
you.
They're all in check.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
1 second. This is like an interesting good.
We good?
Yes. Thank you. We got to roll.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks for coming out. What was your name again?
Okay. Y'all bought a lot of that out there?
I really appreciate y'all coming out here, man. That's like.
Let me get back across the street. I've been over here on this side too long in the company of that.
Just so y'all know, this is what the marriage is about, okay? Coming together, keeping it, okay?
They have their opinions in that. I don't agree with them. And yes, I was rolling my eyes. He's a bunch of full of.
Is that cooler? Who's that going to?
I don't know. Did that guy look? Did that guy leave?
I'm taking the banner because that's Solomon's, but I was going to take this and post it on the page and see if anybody.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, I got comms too. There's some comms out.
Okay.
Solomon said that whoever had them to either just leave them with me and he'd send me this, or if you're going to see him pretty soon.
How quick do you think you might see him? He's got another event.
Yeah, he's going to be in Gun Barrel.
It might be another week before I see him again or whatever, whenever we have our next TLC event.
Yeah. I
So
don't
it
know.
don't matter to me. I mean, if you want to take that, you can. And
Yeah, I can, and then see who. Or it don't matter if you want to.
I don't care either which one way. I just want to make sure somebody knows that I got it or you got it, so that way.
Well, y'all missed a lot of hot air over there.
That's what we heard.
It'd probably be like watching CNN or something.
Huh?
It'd be like watching CNN or something.
Oh, it was. It was.
So he's not against our gun rights, huh?
Oh, he is. He's a lying sack of crap. You can see it all over his face when he was talking. He's a lying sack of crap. I hope
Was he the one that
CJ.
was doing the live feed? CJ posted it on the.
Yeah, the OCT women. Yeah. I hope CJ and them get a chance to have a talk with him tomorrow when they're in Houston.
Oh yeah.
You hear me, CJ? Yeah, I'm sorry. They're getting pictures with him over there. I don't know. I'll completely pass on that. Nope.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be used like that. 'Cause
No.
What's gonna happen?
Oh, they're gonna post. Yeah, exactly.
It was like whenever I was down there doing Harvey effort, me and my group was joined up with the Oath Keepers in Houston, and we was doing armed security for the perimeter and everything. And anyway, Sheila Jackson Lee comes and starts doing photo ops. I'm like,
Oh, I bet that was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I did take pictures with the mayor, but yeah, not Sheila. I wasn't gonna do that.
Oh, it's not Sheila Jackson good, but when I don't know if you went to Herman Park with the rally down there with the Sam Houston.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Art Avocado come walking around out there trying to shake everybody's hand to get pictures took. He come up towards me and I detoured. I don't want nothing to do with him. Yeah. I hope they don't, but I'm afraid that the pictures they got took over there with bald heads, they're gonna so politically use that.
That's why I just decided to stay over here on this side.
Who had their hands on triggers?
Huh?
Who had their hands on triggers?
Oh, I know one that I know.
Wow.
Very sad for her ex-husband and her stepdaughter.
All the way down here.
Oh, me neither, Allison. I can't wait to see the Houston one tomorrow, too. I wish they hadn't scheduled it so late in the day. I was going to try and make it, but there's no way I can make it and be back here for work tomorrow, Monday morning, at a decent time. It's a long drive back home for me at nighttime, especially. East Texas, Lake Fork.
Lake Fork, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were going fishing a lot, but
Oh, yeah?
that's a pretty good little haul.
Yep.
I live down in Rio Vista.
Oh.
That's about an hour and a half away from here.
So y'all out there, all y'all watching, y'all keep in mind they're going to be in Houston tomorrow. They're going to be in San Antonio Monday. They're going to be in El Paso Tuesday. Go to the Open Carry Texas event page. The events are posted. Get to what you can. Y'all put a big showing up down there in Houston tomorrow. Sure wished I could be there. So late in the day though. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed that. I didn't particularly enjoy standing over there that close to him, but I was trying to get some stream for y'all. One of his, their Kool-Aid thinking rubbing off on me. But anyway, if in case any of y'all don't know, we're up here at Paul Quinn College, Dallas, Texas. Just listen to a bunch of baloney rant over there from Mr. Hogg himself. And yes, I was doing some eye rolling. But
Okay, yeah, that's Mark Young's cooler. So he lives in South Fort Worth, so that's on my way home.
oh, okay, good deal, good deal. It gives me, they would still rather have the kids in the school unprotected. I don't get that. I don't get that at all. Yeah, put the locking doors up and everything else, but still, have your armed staff and teachers in there.
They don't want to do that. That'd solve the problem.
Well, no. Somebody can get in, even one of them stick kids or somebody can get in that door, that automatically locking door, ajar it open, and have a firearm or a knife or whatever on the outside of that door, and then it's not gonna stop anything. What's gonna stop it is letting these teachers that want to and want to take that responsibility and have the fortitude to do it, to go through the training and be there to defend the kids.
Well, the teachers that would too.
Oh, I can't even count the number of teachers that would do it. But they're not allowed to do it where they teach. That's what I was saying. The schools that my grandkids go to, I'm so thankful because they have armed teachers and staff.
I mean, the ones that you see them using themselves as body shields and stuff. I mean, they love those kids. You know, they spend all their time with them and everything. Of course, they would want to step up and let them know something like that.
Well, yeah, I brought that up over there about the coach that was at their school that stood there and basically sacrificed himself. Had he been able to be armed, or had he been allowed to be armed, he'd have had a 50-50 chance at least of surviving. Plus, probably some of the kids would have survived.
He might still be alive today to be able to give out his testimony.
Exactly.
Like I said, they don't want the problem solved. If the problem was solved, then they could keep talking about guns.
No, they wanted to talk more about politics and taxes and
they need victims. They don't have a purpose without victims.
That's true. That's the right and just a ball face live. They said he's not doing rats. You got kidding me, dude.
Oh, you could see it on his face when he was standing there saying that.
Your flag's stuck in the fence.
Oh, again. Thanks. Oh, goodness. I would. Yeah. This guy over here said he wanted to see them all with their clear backpacks. Myself, I'd like to have seen Hogg's famous bicycle that he was pedaling so hard that day.
Yeah.
Should have asked him if it was on the bus. CJ, be sure and ask him that tomorrow.
See, his event's tomorrow, right?
Huh?
His event down there in September is that tomorrow?
Yeah. What time? 3 starts at 3 o'clock, I believe, at Tranquility Park. I believe. Might double check and go to Open Carry Texas page and just double check.
I just came from down there, so it's gonna be a long shot for me to be able to make that trip again this weekend. I'll see what I can do.
Oh, I hear you. I want to be there tomorrow so bad, but you know, I go to all these myself. You know, and I just did the Austin, drove it by myself. I went to Santa Fe with the little rally that we had down there, but luckily my daughter rode with me on that one. But still, that's a long, it's a long drive. And at 3 to 6 or whatever tomorrow evening, I think they're slated for. By the time I got out of there and got back up here,
oh, it'd be 10 o'clock at night, you know, later. Well,
later.
No, you're in East Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's way later for you. Never mind.
Never know about me though. I might just get a whim and say to hell with it and go anyway. They're obviously still talking over there. I'm sorry, y'all. I came back. I didn't want to be over there no more. I had enough. And you know, I'm going to brag on my girls that are with me today, you know. And as scary as they're made out to be and portrayed to be, you know, everybody's rifle was on very good behavior. Nothing misbehaved. Hog's still standing over there talking.
Definitely proud of the Dallas Police Department too. I mean, those guys, you could tell that they think they.
Yes, I have to.
They seemed like they were actually happy.
Yeah. I don't know where that. Oh, there he is. No. There's one that I'm a contact point. I don't see him. I don't know where he went. But yeah, I have to commend them myself too, because they've been really good. They ain't give us no trouble or mess with us or anything. Give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, I can't remember that lady that I talked to, that blonde officer. I don't remember exactly what she said, but it was something along the lines of, you know, she's obviously broken and how she's, you know, she made a little innuendo saying that she's happy to see us or anything like that. And I was like, awesome, you know?
I wonder if it's the same one that was at Dallas during the NRA event. It was what she was walking around in street clothes.
I don't remember seeing her at the NRA event, so I don't know if it was her or not, or I might just not have noticed her.
Walking around with what?
Huh?
Walking around with what?
Street clothes.
Off duty, just being a part of the event.
So Terry, are you familiar with the bill that I'm trying to get introduced?
Which one is that? Refresh my memory.
Okay, so I'm trying to get somebody in the legislature to introduce a bill that I had drafted up by Stickland's chief of staff last session to allow LTC holders to conceal carry in public schools. Have you heard of that yet?
I may not have.
Okay.
But tell us about it.
I like to refer to it as the Utah model because when I came up with the idea, I've realized that the state of Utah, since the year 2002, so for the last 16 years, has allowed anybody with a license to conceal carry in public schools statewide. and obviously they haven't had any problems with that. They're not like scrambling to repeal the law, right?
Right.
We can't point to any crimes that were committed by license holders on school property or any kids that were injured by license holders on school property, right? So the idea here is if you have an LTC in Texas, you can carry concealed in public schools, only public schools, because I don't want to step on private property rights. I believe in individual liberty all the way. And school districts, public school districts, because they're an extension of the government, it's written into the law this way, or into the bill this way, can't prohibit their employees from concealed carrying if they have LTCs.
I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I've reached out to several legislators. Some of them told me to get back with them in November to see if they'd be willing to support them. Unfortunately, my recently elected, just this last election, representative and senator, one of them said that she was given the advice not to introduce any major controversial bills in her first term, and then the other one wouldn't even get back to me.
Well, pass some advice up on to her. She'd do better for herself if she stood up and bucked the system and done what she felt is right.
Yeah. Well, at the very least, she met with me, she spoke with me in person, and she said, if it wasn't her first term, she'd be at least willing to support me. We had a pretty good long discussion about it. It was a good discussion.
At least she listened to you.
Yeah. So I have to give her props for that. I don't want to make this sound like I'm trashing her or anything. I think that it was really good of her to be able to.
Well, I'll give her props too for listening, taking the time to listen.
Yeah. So I'd like to get a little bit more support, a little bit more vocalization about this issue, to maybe try to get it at least on people's minds so we can start.
Do you have a website or something that people can go to and check it out?
I don't, but I can share the bill so anybody can read it. It's on my Google Drive, and I freely get the link out for people to view it. My name is Sean Sheridan. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me in the Open Carry Texas Closed group, the OCT Women group.
Put it out there, dude. Put it out there. I mean, that's my opinion of it anyway. Put it out there.
Even in the OCT pages, that's a vast network, so somebody might know somebody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Myself, I'd be on board with it.
Yeah.
I have no problem with it.
Utah is just the one state that I knew had it at the time.
I mean, because now we can drive up on the school grounds to drop the kids off, pick the kids up.
Yeah.
And now the teachers can store their firearm in their vehicle.
In their vehicles, yeah.
In the parking lot.
And district employees too. So I'm actually a school district employee myself. I work for Dallas ISD. I'm absolutely not afraid to get my name and my face out there. I don't care. I'm not breaking any laws. I'm not breaking any rules. I'm not representing the district. I'm representing myself. And so I'm aware of these laws. I personally would like to be able to carry to defend myself. And I think that teachers who have LTCs should be able to carry to defend themselves, whether they're in the parking lot, walking to the school building in crime-ridden neighborhoods, or if they're in the school. And
I totally agree. That's people, my biggest. That's my big thing right there. I mean, they want to cut down on these school shootings.
Yeah.
They want to really actually do something to stop them.
Yeah.
Let the teachers, like I said over there earlier, the teachers that want to take that responsibility and actually have the fortitude to do so.
Yeah.
I'm okay with extra classes or extra training.
Yeah, and that's what I said too.
They would be the first responders. I mean,
yes, because 90% or more of the time, a person that is licensed, a person that carries, they're going to face the threat. They're not going to. I mean, yeah, we had that in Broward County,
right.
But
well, I mean, here's the thing.
The majority, arms is citizens like us.
The person whose life is at that moment in danger, that person is going to fight harder to save their life than somebody whose life is not in danger. Okay?
Oh, I totally agree. I'll tell you what, I'm not going down without a fight.
I mean,
if it all breaks loose, I won't cower. I will go down fighting.
And I mean, all of these problems stem when you start trying to curb people's individual liberties. You take away the right to self-defense, the people are defenseless. then you have to put it in somebody else's hands. And that somebody else may be very trained, may be, high speed, low drag. They may be in there in like 5 seconds and take out the threat. They might not. We've seen that countless times.
Yes.
We saw that at Columbine, where they took up positions outside the doors and waited for over an hour. We saw that at Virginia Tech, where an AR-15 was not used. It was 2 handguns, a Glock 9mm, and a 22 handgun. It was
watching the debate themselves.
Okay. That took hours because they couldn't find them. It was a big canvas. We saw that at
today. He's talking about different
not
stuff.
only did the state resource officers stand outside, but so did the Broward County sheriffs.
Yeah, but then in retrospect, I can't recall the schools right off of my head, but there's been some instances where teachers have stepped up. They weren't armed.
Yeah.
But they did what they could, and
yeah, and that's the thing. This argument that people aren't going to have the wherewithal to use a gun to defend themselves in a high-stress situation. Well, they had the wherewithal to distract the shooter, to lie and tell them the kids were in the gymnasium when they were hiding in their classroom. They had the wherewithal to stand in front of the way and shield kids with their bodies. They had the wherewithal to do something. If they had the wherewithal to do that, they have the competence to do it with a gun.
exactly. I agree 100%.
So, I believe that anybody with an LTC should be able to carry in public schools. I think that private schools should set their own rules. I think those rules should allow LTC holders to carry, but that's their decision. It's private property. And so I'd like to see that at the very least talked about, preferably introduced in the legislature this session.
I'd like to. Hey, if it gets there, I'm behind it. I'm behind it.
Well, head out. So it was great. It's great meeting you. What's your name? Colby. Colby. Okay. Terry Lee. Already.
Yeah. Yep.
Kyle. Ty. Ty. Nice. Oh wait. I know you, right?
Probably.
Yeah. Okay. So it was great being out here with you guys.
All right, guys. I think I'm gonna shut this down. I don't know where the other columns are. Anyway, I'll holler at y'all later. OCT woman, Paul Quinn College, and we are out. Y'all give it to them tomorrow in Houston.
Be safe.